Hello, welcome to part 2 of Gamecube cover art rating, talking about going deep, detailed. I think it's a good title. I think I should call its videos that. So, as you can see, this is Mario Party 4. I am PaperDawN. I am a graphic designer, so I will be talking about these games and the graphic design of the cover art and how well it all comes together. Cover art and the back art, just looking at these basically. I went like way into detail last time. I spent way longer than I thought on each cover, but there's actually a lot to talk about, and it's been a pretty fun experiment. I think maybe hopefully somebody can learn something. I'm not like a super expert graphic designer in any means, but I've done this for a while. I've worked with game covers before, so I kind of have an idea of how things come together. And there's consistencies in the GameCube games, so it's kind of fascinating. Yeah, there's some pretty interesting stuff. If you haven't seen the first part, watch the first part, and then you can come back here, and we can enjoy Mario Party 4's wonderful graphic design. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm kidding. Maybe not. Let's see. We'll see how it. We'll see how this one stacks. So we'll see if this one can survive the test. You know. No. Immediately, it looks pretty nice. All things considered, everything coming together pretty well. But get into the nitty-gritty. So basically, I won't go into detail with the logos. I explained that last time, but I'm not. There's a lot you can say about a logo, but I'll generally say logo for Mario Party 4 is pretty cool. It's actually pretty nice. I like the patterns on it. I think it comes together pretty well. The glow, I've mentioned the glow before, but the outer glow like that is really over the top and a little distracting. It's a really easy, cheap way to make your logo pop. Maybe in 2004 or whenever this game came out, or 2002, I guess. I wouldn't do it now. I get that it works. I think the background's kind of cool, the spiral, and I think it kind of takes away from the background, the spiral and everything, because it's like the logo's like coming in your face. There's definitely a way to do this a little bit better. I think maybe even adding. I think it just needs to be less of a glow, you know? Just like don't make it so opaque, make it more transparent. The spine looks cool. I mentioned this in my last video, but something cool that I like when cover art completely contrasts the back, and this does a really good job with that. The cover art is dark blue with all the characters taking up all the space, so it's really crowded. I really like I really like the placement of I didn't even talk about that. The placement of the characters is pretty cool. Luigi's getting a little bit Mike Wazowski there by the ESRB rating. You can see he's kind of getting covered a little bit. I actually don't know. Is he holding a mushroom? Who knows? Is he holding a mushroom? But otherwise, it's iconic. There's a lot of characters on it. You'd be like, whoa, you can play as Waluigi in this one? Who the hell's that guy? Because this is like 2002, so he was kind of new. It's cool. I think having characters upside down is pretty like, I don't know, ballsy is the right word. Just like, it's experimental. It's cool. I like it. Not some cover arts won't do that, but it doesn't look bad. If it comes together well, it looks cool. It's not like, you know, I don't know if anyone's expecting to turn the fucking like game around to like look at the rest of the art, but it looks nice and it works with the spiral effect in the background. So the yellow background is also pretty cool. It has a lot of transparent things going on for like, they have a bunch of effects. It's actually, I'm just noticing something in the background. I just totally took me off guard. But the background is like, I think the stuff from the cover art, but like, what is Wario's face doing there? I've never noticed that. What's going on? Why is he just... Oh, and Waluigi's there. Why are they there? Why is it like that? It's like they died. I never noticed that. What the hell? That's so weird. Okay. Otherwise, it's pretty nice. It has a pretty generic font for the body, but the header is like Mario font, I think. It's pretty like normal-ass Mario font they use. The spine's fine. I like how it bleeds from the background to the back. The logo's there. Pretty iconic. I think all the Mario Party games use the logo as the name, which is nice. I think I have all of them lined up on my GameCube shelf, so I've noticed that. Screenshots are pretty good. I actually really like that these ones little overlap a tiny bit. I kind of like it. The only thing I don't really like when you really think about it, the only one that's skewed is that basketball one for some reason. I think they could have skewed the other two a little bit, just a tiny bit, just to give it a little bit of like chaos down there. It looks like consistent chaos, consistent. Like, you know, the middle one is for some reason curved like that. I get they wanted to just overlap them, but then they were like, oh, it looks a little weird, so we're going to curve it to make it look a little bit like you can see a little bit more of it. I think they could have curved them a little bit more. Top one being Big Ass Peach. I don't know why that's the image they chose, but whatever. I like how the stars around all the images look really nice. They're placed pretty evenly and like consistently. Nothing feels like weird or out of place. Yeah. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I like it. Pretty like not. I want to say it's like not as wordy as some cover arts, but it's pretty normal. I like it. I actually do really I like this cover. It's pretty good so far. I mean, this is the only Mario Party I think I have on here. I could compare them. I guess it's too late. I don't think I have any other Mario parties like on the tabs right now. The character art is interesting. I think they're supposed to be standing on spaces, so it's kind of just using like different official art. I guess this might have been official art at the time for these games, this game specifically. So they're pretty like iconic now, just because I think they were used a lot after this. So, but yeah, it's pretty good. I kind of like it. I think it works well. Everything comes together pretty well in this one. The next one is this one's pretty iconic. Double Dash. We love Double Dash. This one has the classic error that everyone likes to mention, is Luigi's actually flipped, but they didn't change his L on his hat. It's so subtle though. It's amazing. I was kind of amazed at how people found that. I was like, wow, like really? It's like pretty surprising that somebody actually found this. The cover art they used is really cool. I like the render with the speed effect over everybody. It looks pretty good. Logo, Double Dash's logo is cool as hell. Works well. Mario Kart's logo in general is really cool, and I think it's a similar font that they use to the other games. I like the Double Dash part with the 2 exclamation points. That's what the game's called. It's called Double Dash with 2 exclamation points because a double dash. It's actually correct. It's like actually legally, it's the TM is after those exclamation points. It's called Double Dash exclamation point exclamation point. The includes bonus disc thing is actually kind of nice too. I'm looking at like under it though. Is it covering something? I don't know if it's covering something. I don't know what the cover art looks like. Actually, I quickly look this up. Let's see. Oh, it's covering the shell. Oh my god, this stupid game. Okay, so it's covering the shell, which you can clearly see if an image will load. Oh wait, no, it won't load. Never mind. You can kind of see it in these screenshots here. It's covering the shell on the bottom corner there. So what? Oh no, that's just the shell. Oh my god, I was losing my mind. I thought that was the pavement without the effects, and I was like, I don't know why I was thinking that. Something about it just made me think it was like, because it almost looks gray, the white part of the shell. So I thought it was like they removed the shell, and because the shell was kind of just like over the art, it like the effects didn't go over or something. I thought there was some weird mistake there, but it actually looks okay. Never mind. It's the shell. It's covering it. It's fine. I got caught up on that for a while. I like the spine. Bleeding in with the main thing looks pretty nice. Entices you to pull the game out because you're like, wait, what is that? Is that a course? What am I looking at? And you pull it, you're like, oh my god, it's a piece of art. Oh my god, like Blockbuster. Here's my $7.99. But yeah, I actually hate that official art of Mario and Luigi like pointing at the camera like you're fucking next. But it's like it's kind of it works there. I think it could have just been the cart. I think having just an image of a cart would be kind of cool. I don't think Mario and Luigi need to be there. It also looks so serious in Mario Kart Double Dash. Like every screenshot, like Luigi's smiling. Mario's like we're gonna win. Like this is like stop smiling, Luigi. This is serious. In the back, he's like ready to kill someone with that fire thing. It's cool. It's a cool piece of art. But yeah, so in the back cover, works pretty well. I think this is actually pretty cohesive. Doing the same thing. I mean, almost every game has done it. The bevel and embossed screenshots with the text below it and the drop shadow behind it. Iconic. I'm sure they had a few graphic designers on staff. Nintendo of America. They were like, just do that again. You know, it worked. I think it's kind of funny to have the LAN mode on the front here. I've never seen the LAN mode besides this screenshot because no one had a LAN adapter for the GameCube. Like, who the hell had that? I would love to know somebody who did a LAN party, a Double Dash. That'd be fascinating. There's a little bit of text, like a lot of text, I feel, for each of these screenshots. Like items galore. Each character gets unique special items like Giant Chomp, as well as classic items like homing red shells and mushroom. It could have just been like like items galore, like new, like special new items for each character or something, you know? Like, of course it's gonna have the, like, you can see the red shell in his hand. Like, of course they're gonna have the red shell. That's a great picture because it's like red shell, but what the hell's the fireball? Like, is that a new ability? And it's like, you read that and you're like, oh wow, do I really need a list of red shells and mushrooms? Like, of course they're gonna be in this game. It's stupid. Fucking Luigi's got a green shell in like every screenshot. Yeah, a little wordy. The double the fun is cute. I think it's a good title thing. I think the text under it looks fine. It's got 3 fonts. No, it's got 2 fonts. But the I think it works well. I don't really know what I think the background is like a really transparent, like blurred image of like a first-person racing thing. It looks okay. I maybe would have made it a little less transparent because it's a little like it gets pretty lost. It'd take like a mastermind, like me to figure out what it is. The characters below are cute. I think that works well. They'll have a little drop shadow works really nice too. Mario's drop shadow is not blurred, but theirs are. I don't know why. I guess I don't know. It could have probably not done blurred. I think maybe because that's part of the art is the blurred background, but these guys don't are blurred shadow. No, the not blurred shadow is part of the Mario and Luigi art, but these guys don't have blurred or any kind of shadow, so they just made them, and they just kind of used like, you know, the ellipse tool and just kind of made fucking these. I don't know. That's my theory. Otherwise, it looks fine. It comes together decent. Just a little too wordy in my opinion. Yeah. Oh boy, we're getting to Sonic territory here. Oh, this is pretty iconic, right? Like, so those were pretty much all of those were Nintendo, like made by Nintendo. So they probably all had similar assets that were being used, but Nintendo doesn't really supply third parties with assets or anything to use like that. So it's good to keep in mind that all these were made by completely different people. Some of those Nintendo ones could have been made by similar people, if not the same dude. I don't know. But Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is pretty cool. Also, considering that the Dreamcast version of this game looks a lot different. The cover art is just Sonic and Shadow. So having the whole cast, this is a whole new thing to have for the cover art, which is pretty cool. I think this art works so well for the front. It comes together really, really nicely. It's like perfectly placed too. You think about this, like you don't really think about this. That battle part is just not hitting the ESRB, and Rouge's ears are like just at the edge, and Sonic's hand is just at the spine. I'm sure it took a lot of like moving and planning to make sure that this got exactly in the middle, and it takes up like all of it, and it looks nice. It looks really good because of that. I don't know what the hell's going on in the background here. It just looks like some, you know, kind of lens flare effect explosion thing. It looks nice. The scan doesn't do a great job, but it's very purple and blue. It's like, you can kind of tell in the scan, I guess. I'm like staring really close to this. It's a lot of white, but it's pretty purple and blue, and it looks pretty slick. I don't know. I think it's like it's pretty nice cover. Not much else to say. Just the like the real ass art like on the front. It's cool. So then the spine is just the logo, but it honestly looks pretty good on the spine. I'm surprised that it like, you know, comes together pretty well on the spine. It's a good example. There's no bullshit in the background of this one either. It's just black, and it works pretty well. There's enough effects going on that help it. I will say one thing I never noticed before. It's a little weird. Oh wait, no, I'm crazy. I thought like they stretched the lens flare thing to be like a square over Sonic's. Something was off about that. Battle and save the world, or conquer it. Yeah, so we got, it's kind of weird, like, line effect. It's basically, like, the color of the shine thing that's going around each screenshot, but just, like, scribbled to make, like, just shading over it. It looks kind of cool. It's honestly not even that noticeable. There's a lot going on in this, which is tough, because I get what they're doing here with the Gamecube thing, because that takes up a lot of room down there, the Gamecube with the link cable. I think it could have been smaller, and they could have just used a kind of small screenshot of the Game Boy Advance game, because you can see the Game Boy Advance game is in the Game Boy. That's why they wanted to make it that big, because they're like, you can't fucking tell what that is if it's smaller. And they could have easily just like made a screenshot like of the Game Boy Advance game next to it or something. Probably would have been better. They could have probably omitted like one of these screenshots, maybe the other Chow one, even though they do want to show the Chow Garden. Or maybe one of the... No, they're all multiplayer screenshots. It's so strange. These are all multiplayer screenshots. I guess that's like the cool new thing with this game is the multiplayer. Wait, oh, I just realized that too. Huh. That is straight up a mistake on here. It says, play the cute and comical Chow Karate. I was literally reading that, like, what could this be about? And I was like, play the cute and comical? I'm like, are they talking about Knuckles? And I was like, oh, what? No. Like, this should be down here in 30 action stages with over 150 missions. Should probably be up there, right? That's weird. I never noticed that. That is literally probably just like a mistake that didn't come through. That's weird. Yeah, so that's a problem. If you have your text that says play the cute and comical Chow Karate, and if you're looking at that, there's no screenshot near that has to do with that. It's down here. Weird. That should definitely be down there. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle connects to your GameCube and your Game Boy Advance, so you can take the Chow on the go. Yeah, and that would work best also next to the Chow thing, so that works. Yeah, otherwise, it works pretty well. I don't love the lens flare effect. It's better than just a normal glow, I think. But, like, if you kind of look at it as a whole, it's a little, like, weird. Like, it's just kind of, like, pretty, like, vacant. And, like, because the background doesn't have anything going on. I think maybe having the sky, like the one in that first screenshot with the moon, would have been kind of cool. Because it's, like, the first stage. It's pretty iconic. The intro is at night. It's pretty iconic. And they go into space, so could be a thing. Otherwise, it's okay. I think it all comes together decently well. The placement of the screenshots is good. It's funny, that text thing is funny. But those are my critiques. Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, which came out after Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, surprisingly. This is a remake of Sonic Adventure, and this cover art's kind of cool. I think I really do think it's significantly worse than the Dreamcast version, which has the cool shot of Sonic, doing his iconic pose. This 3D art just kind of awkward looking, and like, chaos just kind of in the background is a little weird. Like, Sonic, dude, someone's behind you. Like, I don't really understand why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't do the iconic Sonic Adventure like cover art. It was like iconic at this point too. Like, how could you not do that? It's so surprising, honestly. But the background's still technically the same as, kind of similar to the Dreamcast version. I like the way the spine. I think maybe the director's cut could have been to the right of that logo. They probably could have just made a different thing for Sonic Adventure DX, like a different logo, than just separated the director's cut from it. The back is interesting. I kind of like it. I think I like it more than I if you told me this concept on paper, I'd be like, that sounds like chaos. And it's like, maybe that's the whole point. Total chaos. I never thought about that. Wow. Total chaos. It says Sonic and his friends. Used Sonic and friends return to the Nintendo GameCube. Greatest adventure of all time. Experience all the epic thrills. Yeah. It actually works pretty well. Eggman being on the back, like that prevalent, is pretty badass, actually. It's always a cool idea. Again, contrast. You have Sonic on the front, and then Eggman on the back. I think maybe... I thought awesome was spelled wrong. Something about that word just, like, made me, like... I was like, are you kidding me? See, this is weird, though. So, the opposite problem is with this one. They omitted the GameCube thing. It literally says, connect to Sonic Spinball Party via Nintendo GameCube. There's no picture of a Game Boy. So that font, like, it's almost like a disclaimer on the bottom. It's kind of weird. I think that doesn't even need to be there. If it was going to be there, they should have put at least a picture of a Game Boy Advance. It doesn't have to be the game or anything. It could just literally just be like a logo of a Game Boy Advance somewhere near there. Pretty cool though. I like how the image is all like curved like that, so it kind of like almost like it cushions Eggman, cushions him down up there. Pretty badass though. I like it. I like the fonts kind of curving with it. Look pretty cool. Oh, awesome bonus games. I think one thing that, a little pet peeve, you can kind of tell that the over 30 massive levels lines up with the boxes there. Like, they actually like line up with the two. Awesome Bonus Games doesn't, which means it's not curved properly. But the thing is, it is with Biggs, but it isn't with Amy's. So Biggs and Amy should have been curved the same way. Actually, is it with Biggs? I can't tell. It's not like the right direction. It's weird looking, a little weird looking. Otherwise, looks pretty good. I really don't know why that Game Boy logo isn't there though. It seems like a total misstep. I think it's the whole thing about having Eggman in the back like this is pretty badass. I think maybe the font under the Total Chaos could have been the font they used for the mission thing, all this font down here, or vice versa. They could have just used the one font for everything. It's very there's not a lot of text. It's all very titles and advertising, so that could have worked. But yeah, otherwise it looks okay. I think that, and again, missed opportunity with the cover too. I think it really could benefited from being the original art, and that always works better. But speaking of, Mega Collection has the original or Sonic art, which is pretty cool. I think just based on what Mega Collection is, I think it could have been cool to have retro Sonic art back here, or at least maybe Sonic holding up an old game or something would have been kind of cool. That'd be pretty cute too, I think. It's very the 7 great hits plus extra games plus bonus features is a little gaudy. I get it doesn't really, the Sonic Mega Collection doesn't really say much about it from the front, so they were probably well, we gotta advertise it. It's a few games, you're gonna look at these games and be why would I get Mega Collection? What does that mean? So saying 7 great hits, extra games plus bonus features is a good way to just this is a collection game. Otherwise, I think this cover looks pretty cool. I think the art works really well with that ring thing. The ring's pretty iconic to classic Sonic. The checkerboard pattern, also pretty iconic to just Sonic. Checkerboard was a big part of his aesthetics back in the day. All the character art looks cool. I'm a sucker for 2D art. Spine looks cool too. I think the yellow with the spine works really well. I think having that differentiate the front and back. It doesn't need to bleed. It doesn't need to have the big bleed. It can look good with the yellow. I think it actually looks really cool like this. It contrasts really well with the front and back. And I think the yellow and blue in general just looks pretty nice. The back is another story, kind of. I know what they're trying to do with the ring. Trying to make it it's a ring, like the ring in the background. It looks fine in that regard. Having the games that's in the collection is cool, and I didn't realize there was only 7 games. I thought there was other games. I guess there's secret games because it's Sonic and Sonic Knuckles is here. Sonic Blast in the Past Blast into the Past. I guess that's kind of cool. Sonic Blast. Oh wait, I guess into is a word that you wouldn't capitalize. Anyway, that font is different than the middle stuff, which is fine, but the middle stuff is I don't like the way that font looks. Also, the font is bleeding into the ring, so the fucking K and book is getting lost. And it's just, even if it wasn't, it's just way too close. I guess that they need to make it fit, but I don't know. They could have been closer together. It's just a different font. It just wasn't the right font choice, man. Also, having no font effect, no typeface effect, so it's just unfiltered, just the red. If you squint your eyes, you can't read that shit. And they're supposed to be advertising, so in the Sonic Adventure one, at least it was white with a black outline, so if you squint your eyes, it's still oh, there's a text there. If you squint your eyes, I'm telling you, literally squint your eyes right now, it gets completely lost. It doesn't even look like it would be text. The Sonic Blast in the Past looks fine, but those are advertising points. It's not text that you're you're supposed to just you're supposed to see it and just read it, and that's it. 7 Sonic hits, got it, that kind of thing. That's the point of that. I think it didn't need that ring effect, and they got too caught up in making it look like this ring of games. I think if you just had the games kind of scattered around, maybe have the first 3 games at the top, then the second, then maybe or I don't know, something like that. They could have done a better job. Maybe have a screenshot from one of the games or something. I don't know. Cover the iconic title screen or something. The back is pretty lackluster compared to the front, I guess. Not that the front's doing anything crazy, but yeah, it's just kind of whatever. Yeah, that font choice in the middle is just kind of killing it. I think the top is not great either. That font doesn't really work for Sonic, I feel. The front has so... And if you're looking at everything total, it's interesting how many fonts the front uses in terms of the logo and that 7 greatest hits thing, and the back uses 2 more fonts. It's like there's a good amount going on in that way, and it's not even saying much. So interesting. Oh boy, Super Monkey Ball. Oh, Super Monkey Ball's art is so cool. So just first glance, it's pretty good. I like it. I think this one I actually might like in general. So logo's cool, Super Monkey Ball. I'm not gonna talk about that, but it's good logo. Again, like I said with the Pikmin one in the last video, just having the art, like the render from the game and the title of the game, no bullshit, just works really well. I think that, like, you know, especially this era, it's nice. This was also a launch game, I think, so that's pretty cool. It also works well with the rest of the games. And again, this was, I guess, at a time where Nintendo was like, yeah, make your font like just stupid ass, like just plain, like don't use the logo. But I guess the logo wouldn't look really great. I mean, they could like make it look good, you know, you could just not have the monkey ball like name curved and then just have it there. And then the back, which the spine looks good, bleeds into the back, works well. It's pretty like, you know, blue sky, but it looks nice. So the back is mostly good, I think. Hey Party Animals looks cute, and I like the kind of kind of, I think maybe a little bit less of that, like a tiny bit like less ridiculous. Like you can have one letter above the other, just kind of getting that zigzag effect, but it could just been like 1 decibel less. Call your friends. This whole part is weird because, for one, it's wrapped with eye on the ball, but it's like still bleeding into him, so it's not really doing its job. If the point is the font is not supposed to cover eye, I get it's not covering him as much, but it's why is it like that? Why did they make the font smaller? Well, one thing is they used like a thing you can do with the font where you basically make it take up the space exactly, and it just spaces the words accordingly. I particularly have a pet peeve with how that looks for body font, especially when you're supposed to be reading stuff, because you look at like call your friends and warn your neighbors, it's time to have a ball, like you know, neighbors, it's time to have a ball, it's some just closer space than call your friends and warn. Also, that's really weird. Call your friends and warn your neighbors, it's time to have a ball, like get your neighbors over, come on, we got fucking monkey ball. And then game you've ever played is like all spaced out. Like it just looks weird. You could have just done like, you know, a normal, like the normal paragraph typing, and it just would have been fine. I don't know. It feels really weird. The screenshots look fine. The monkey, the bananas on each of the points are pretty cute. The character art kind of being placed randomly, it looks cute though. I think it's weird that it highlights all the mini games. Like every mini game, well, I don't know if it's every mini game, but all the mini games it's really highlighting. They didn't really even tell you what the game is like. It's just like, look at these mini games we have. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Point is, the everything comes together pretty well. I think maybe they could have used that yellow font. I'm surprised they went with this black with the really gaudy looking orange or yellow fucking glow. It looks pretty weird. I think maybe it could have been brown. The font could have been brown, or like a darker something in between. I think the black just looks a little too harsh. But either way, there's a lot of screenshots, and all, like, you know, for that many screenshots, it comes together pretty well. Surprised. The front cover is definitely cool though. I like it. It's simple but works really well. Yeah, that one's pretty good. And Super Monkey Ball 2, I was not going to do this, but I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. So Super Monkey Ball 2's logo and how it interacts with the cover is really cool. Like I said, anything interacting with the logo and the cover is really cute and fun, and I like it. And I like the characters just like staring at bananas back there. Weird like void they live in, but whatever. It's pretty iconic and cute. I like it a lot. Spine doing the same thing as the last game, bleeding into the other side. I'm actually just, this game coming out about a year after the first one, damn. But man, whew, the screenshots, this is different. They got these balls, these capsules for each of them. You can tell because they have a little, like, you know, they're actually a capsule. It's a really cute idea. It's also all impact font. It's funny. It's a really cute idea, and it's done as well as it can be done. And I think I just respect like how different it is, like rather if it actually works. Again, for some reason, it's just like, look at all the fucking mini games we have, which is like that's not the main appeal to Monkey Ball at all to me, or anyone really. I guess it says your favorite monkey's back 12 unbelievable party games, all new story mode and 150 stages. Okay, at least it mentions the stages. But yeah, pretty crazy. I will say, like, in this experiment that they did, you lose some of it. Like, you look at fight, like, you can't even tell what the hell's going on in that. And, like, I guess the story mode's just the normal mode. I like that they did make story mode bigger, at least. Pretty crazy and cool, I'm not gonna lie. Surprised at, like, with the text, again, around it, it looks pretty slick, in my opinion. And they're like, placed well enough, and this was obviously probably a time where they like were messing around with Illustrator, InDesign, like, dude, did you know you can like have text like wrap around an object? And it's like, dude, oh my god, that's crazy, we'll make it wrap around the balls. I think it's cool. It's again, it's ballsy and works really well. I think the Ultimate Party Game Returns could have been a different font. I think having impact font for everything in this case scenario is a little much, and like the font that's used for all the mini games is more like loaded. Like, it's got like this red outline and maybe a drop. I can't tell if it has a drop shadow. The Ultimate Party Game font does not have anything. Like, it's just yellow. It's just yellow and big. Even the one below it has a blue. It's weird. Otherwise, looks pretty good. I think otherwise that part looks really good. I think otherwise it looks really cool, and it's pretty pretty immediately like, whoa. Especially in a graphic design standpoint, you look at that and you're like, holy shit, like, that's pretty cool. I like it. I think it's cool. It's very, very, very early 2000s, but that's not a bad thing. Next one, Chibi-Robo. Chibi-Robo is a pretty cute cover. Actually, really like the cover into the spine is really cute. I like the little mug dipping into that. It's actually a really simple cover that is really, really, really good. It's just Chibi-Robo in a very noticeably, he's tiny. And that is mainly the main thing about this game. Logo's nice. I really like the Chibi-Robo logo. Plug into Adventure. I think it's, well, I guess, I don't know if that's the name. No, I don't think it is. I think Plug into Adventure is just because the TM's after Chibi-Robo, so it must not be part of the name. But yeah, really cute. I really like that cover. It's kind of got this weird, like, everything's really real, like, too, which is like kind of this sort of like almost claymation look. It's really, really cute. And the back is also really, really nice. This is one of my favorites besides one little thing, but I really like because I just looked at it. I like the art for Chibi-Robo cleaning is really cute, and the text wrapping around it looks really nice. Has basically a brief description, because it is technically an adventure game, so it has a brief description of the game. Works really well in that way. Say hello to Chibi-Robo. Is cute font, works well. I like the little thing of him running, the silhouette of him running. It matches the outline color, which looks really slick. Like the outline of that text. Yeah, it looks really nice. Like this kind of like, it's actually technically supposed to be a wall. There's also a really bad scan to the Paper Mario one again. And that's supposed to be the floor. They could have gave Chibi-Robo a drop shadow to give that more of an effect. I literally didn't even notice that till now. It's like a floor and wall made out of like Illustrator assets, you know, like literally they just made it by hand. It looks pretty good otherwise. Not really super noticeable, but like when you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's an outlet on the wall. I see what they're trying to do there. They didn't really like go crazy about it. They didn't want to like make it distracting. So it's still like graphic design first, like what it's trying to be second, which I think works really well when you're doing this kind of stuff, so it doesn't get too distracted. And let's see, and then the screenshots, I like the way they're cut like that. I like how it's supposed to kind of be like an advertisement for Chibi-Robo. Like, it's like, he cooks, he cleans, he annihilates. I think the like weird gaudy little like is like cute because it's supposed to be like an old thing, but that could have been a little bit more like effects on it, you know. It's just the shape of the little like or the little like, you know, text bubble shape thing, and then the font. It looks okay. I think it works kind of. I think maybe it could have used an outline, or maybe like a dark yellow outline or something. No, it doesn't have an outline. But yeah, otherwise this one's probably one of my favorites actually. It's really simple but works really, really well. It's like really clean and nice. This is a later game, I think, 2006, I think. So maybe just people, they got better over time. Maybe just like developers or like, you know, graphic designers for these kind of things took it more seriously. They know the software better. It's definitely been a longer time since 2001. So next one is Wind Waker. This one's also weird because I'm pretty sure it's like a metallic thing going on. It's like, you know, kind of translucent or something. So this is not great. I think like you don't even like, it kind of takes a second to even realize Link is on the front in the main one. Zelda always does this thing where it's very like if you see the Ocarina of Time cover art, it is like just gold with the logo. There's no Link. There's like a shield on it. So the logo is like part of just like the design of the cover art basically. And that's kind of how this is. I think the like da-da, like the little like, I don't know how to describe the little lines that kind of make it like pop. They're supposed to make it pop. A little gaudy, especially comparing it to like something like Ocarina of Time. It's like, okay, I guess it's more cartoony, but if they're trying to go for this, still they're trying to go for the kind of like stoic kind of like, you get like a faded thing of Link at the bottom. It's just like gold or whatever this brownish gold color is, bronzish kind of color, to also kind of have that like that almost like, I don't know, it would be like spinning in like a normal scenario. It's a little weird. I don't know. I don't think it needs that. I think otherwise it looks really cool. Spine looks fine. I think the logo looks okay. It's just in like a really generic kind of like fantasy font. Same font used for the text and the body. I think a lot of GameCube games use that font. Evil's Rising. You got the description of the game in the middle. I think the description of the game in the middle could have been something similar to the header, kind of like what we'd seen before, because that's kind of like the story, and then you have all these screenshots that are like, look at all these little things you can do. It's a little like, it's a little generic for Zelda, in my opinion. A little like safe for Zelda. It could have been a little bit more experimental. I think you could get away with Zelda being a little bit more vague because it's Zelda. Like, everyone knows what the fuck's going on in a Zelda game. And maybe this game already had kind of bad reception when it was coming out, so they're like, well, we still got to make this like sellable to people who might not play Zelda. But yeah, otherwise it looks pretty good. Connect to a PAL's Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance thing on the bottom, it kind of works because it's like showing him hold the Game Boy Advance in the screenshot very vaguely. Like I said, you could use a Game Boy Advance to show it there, but also it says Game Boy Advance compatible at the top. I don't think it's that big a deal. It's just really safe, but that's like weird for a Zelda game. You know, I thought this was gonna be a little bit more like majestic or like a little bit more poetic of like, you know, a cover art. But it's fine. I think it fits Wind Waker too. I think just like kind of the more cartoony, like the evil wind was rising, fits Wind Waker style, comic booky kind of thing. And the background is like this kind of like hieroglyphic kind of thing in the back from the intro of the game. It's fine. I think it works well. I think the cover is like cool, but again, I think that without those lines it'd be better. Luigi's Mansion. We're kind of moving around a lot in terms of years. Luigi's Mansion's cover is also pretty good. It's pretty iconic, just Luigi's screaming face at the bottom. But it's cool to have like Luigi so front and center, obviously. And the glow effect in this scenario works well because it's a ghost and it makes sense. And everyone has a glow except for Luigi, so it actually works really nicely. And the Luigi's Mansion logo looks like a ghost, so that makes sense. I think that the glow could have been like a blue, like a light blue, to match the kind of the latest parts of that logo, but maybe they tried that and it didn't look good. I don't know. Mansion being in the background is cool, but no, okay, it's in the back. Never mind. I think Mansion being in the background, that shot is really good. Pretty iconic, cool, like decently experimental in terms of just like having Luigi's screaming face as the cover art is like kind of different. I mean, like, you don't really like, you know, Mario Sunshine's like his badass pose, so it's like kind of cool to see like just a kind of comical like shot of Luigi as the front cover. The more I look at it, it's kind of weird. It's like weirding me out. I love that. See, this is actually really, I like this. I don't know if it's intentional or not. The spine is just black. I'm not even gonna, it's fine. It's pretty safe. It's safe, but I don't, maybe they could have done a poltergeist or something, or a ghost there, a boo there or something, but it's fine. It's like a really early GameCube game. I love this juxtaposition with the text. Luigi's won a mansion, but it's like dark and purple, and like all the screenshots are just like really, really eerie. Like you're already like, you look at the front cover like, holy shit, what's going on? It's like, oh, Luigi won a mansion. But it's like, that is not how I think. It's like the bad news is it's crawling with ghosts and Mario seems to be trapped inside. So it's just, it's a funny juxtaposition. It works really well. I think this is a good example of the header being the same font as the header text, like the body of the header, but the header is just a slightly different. It's slightly bigger. It's got an effect on it compared to the other one. It works really well. I think it could actually be a little bit bigger. Probably could have made it bigger and like kind of to sit right under that official Nintendo Player's Guide advertisement or whatever. Then you got a bunch of screenshots. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I like the mansion in the middle. I like how the door to the mansion is the only thing you can like, is really the only thing unobscured. Really sits really well right in the middle. It's kind of like amazing how well that sits there. I think actually maybe I'd have to see it without the screenshot in the middle there. You could have seen like a good big shot of the mansion, and then they could have had like all the screenshots surrounding it. I'd have to see that to really see if that works, because this makes way more consistent where it's like, you know, a screenshot every little bit of space. So it might be weird, but I think because the mansion's there, it might have been a good like, oh, the mansion's taking up that spot. Maybe they wanted that text there. Maybe they had to, you know, some of the things. Such as the fire belching Mr. Lugs. I really like that when like when games like explain a random part of the game in the back. It's like, why? Like, so random. Yeah, otherwise, I think this one's pretty good. I actually really like this one too. Pretty good for an early GameCube game. Comes together well. It's simple, again. A lot of these are pretty simple, nothing too crazy like the Monkey Ball one or anything, but it's nice. What's next? Ooh, Fire Emblem. This is interesting. And the cover art's cool, obviously. 2D art, sucker, you know how it is. Logo for Fire Path of Radiance is weird. It's so on fire. And the logo on the side is kind of cool. You know, it reminds me of Bionicles. It looks like the same like font and like effect as Bionicles logo. That's weird. I think the cover art's cool. It's placed well. I don't know how much it tells you about the game. I actually haven't played this game. But in terms of Fire Emblem, it's just like anime, you know, action JRPG, so it makes sense. Strategy RPG, but whatever. In RPG, it would make sense. I kind of like how the black spine is fine, because it kind of does seamlessly go into the background or the backside's background pretty well, which is kind of cool. Screenshots are in some like weird, like it looks just like a mishmash of like they just kind of cut shit and made a shape in like Illustrator. I actually kind of hate it. I think it could have worked with just having like a sort of fancy bordered spine. I don't even know what it's trying to do. So the dark days are rising. The background, the outline of that is like the text, but like completely like fucked. Like it's just like really weirdly all smeared. It kind of looks cool, and I do have a soft spot for like headers being like almost the logo itself. So it's like this is like the header is like this really intense looking like font thing. It's more work that needs to be done, but it does look pretty nice. And the font choices are pretty cool too. I think this all looks pretty nice, and Ike being in the back, yeah, it works. I think maybe a few more characters could have been like below him, right next to him. I guess they wanted to show that castle. I don't really know what that is in the game, but I think maybe a few more characters could have been cool, because, you know, part of Fire Emblem is all about its characters, so that could have been a cool thing. 3 screenshots seems decently organized in that way. Background is pretty cool, pretty ominous, which helps. I think a lot of this is pretty like enticing you to be like, what is this game about? There's so much weird shit happening in the cover. I wonder what the thought process of a game like Fire Emblem was when you're coming up with graphic design, because it's like, who plays Fire Emblem? Like, it's such a niche group. So I'm curious on how that went when it came to designing this. Oh, we have some weird ones. This one will actually be the last one I do. So we got Chicken Little for the GameCube. So this is gonna sound crazy. I think I chose this one because I kind of immediately liked it. It kind of works. It has this 2D art of the movie, which is probably just the cover art to the movie. There's some characters in the front. It is the movie poster, so it gets kind of like a thing. But it works well as a video game logo design. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you didn't tell me this was a movie, I might have thought this was just some like weird platformer from the mid 2000s. You know, it like surprisingly works well. You get this kind of like he's doing the fucking like animated movie face though, where he's like, like with his eyebrow up. I think it's cool. It's like decently enticing. fucking, what's his name? What's the guy who plays JD from Scrubs? He plays Chicken Little in the movie. The back is weird. The back is really strange because the top part is just a screenshot of like a turret section too. It's just like knowing anything about platformers or movie tie-in games back then, it's like, this is not what you want to see. But I like the text. I like how it's curved like that. It's coming together kind of well. I think maybe you just should have had like a shot of Chicken Little or some kind of like official art of Chicken Little running for that part and like curve the text around him there. The screenshots are cool though. It's like almost like pieces of paper, like they have a cool effect, but you like still can see like what's going on. It's like actiony Chicken Little fucking, you know, I don't even know his name. What is Chicken Little's name? Is his name just like Chicken Little? I haven't seen this movie in forever. I think it's kind of cool that the spine is also bleeding into the back. I think, again, if it's just the spine, though, you see this little, like, piece of the robot. It's like, okay, what the fuck is that? Like, I think maybe if the saw was over there or something, it would have been just at least immediately recognizable to somebody be like, oh, what is that? And you open it up instead of just probably seeing the corner of his claw. So it doesn't make much sense. But, again, you're not opening this. You're most of the time not opening this up and staring at the cover art as, like, a whole. You're usually only looking at the back, the spine, and the front separately. But otherwise, but again, if you can make it, that's why I like the Animal Crossing one in the first video so much. If you can make it connect and exist on their own, that's the perfect balance, right? Otherwise, it's pretty good. I think that's the only thing that bugs me is like the screenshot is the background of the top. And actually, it sucks because I think the background is completely bleeding into the back. Like, you can see the sky is like completely bleeding into the back here. I'm curious if the whole shot would do that. If they literally have a just blank sky over there, and they could have done something cool where they have maybe a few more screenshots or like some art of Chicken Little like peeing his pants or something that up there, it would have been much more interesting than just the turret section of the game. But otherwise, it's not bad. It's not bad. The font choice is, I have no idea. It's nice when you have like a font choice that comes together decently well because it's so morphed and like decently like cartoony that like it almost looks like an old movie poster for like, you know, UFOs or attacking or whatever. That would have been a good angle for that too. But otherwise, Chicken Little, not bad. Not bad. I also just noticed that the logo is slightly cut off from the spine, which is awkward. And they could just made the logo a little bit smaller. Maybe made Chicken Little's fat ass head a little smaller too. But otherwise, it's not bad. But yeah, that was a bunch of more GameCube cover art. I think for the next video, I'll do another system if people like these. Let me know if you do. Also, I like making videos like this. It's kind of fun. It's a good exercise, and I hope it maybe teaches you something about graphic design. Not that I'm like the best teacher, but I'm just kind of relaying what I think about these in my brain. So yeah, hopefully I can do more of these. Again, let me know if maybe you have also suggestions. I will take suggestions. If you have a system or specific games that you think would be interesting, let me know. I hope this was fun and maybe relaxing or something. So until next time, goodbye.